introduce Shankar Iyer and Rajiv Mantri, two of our top guests joining us. They'll help dissect the budget numbers. So welcome and thank you for taking our time.
Thank you, Rahul.
I want to start with you, Shankar Iyer. They say that this slowdown is just very temporary and that growth will recover. But if it does, what do you make of the fact that the CEA projects growth next year to be the same, which is not the 8% we need to be Amrit Kal, we need to be Viksit Bharat by 2047. There's a 1.5% gap between where we need to be and where we are and where the government thinks we'll be.
Well, you can interpret it in two ways. One, that the chief economic advisor is concerned about what's happening geopolitically to world trade and to investment flows. Or you could say that he has less than enough confidence in the government's ability to reform and bring in structural changes that will spur growth. I mean, the fact of the matter, Rahul, is that whether you reach the potential 8% or not is an economic debate. But the political debate is that this is a country with a young demography. It needs to create jobs. Now, in the last 1 year, you've seen consumption go down. What is consumption all about? It's about incomes, whether incomes are created or jobs are created. Now, the chief economic advisor has said that the government must get out of the way. And just now, Subramaniam said that his economic survey of 2019 and 20 also mentioned this. Now, I can tell you that this actually tells you the story, that what you've been saying from 2019 has not been done till 2025. I mean, the direct tax code has gone through a Chellaya version, an NK Singh version, a Chidambaram version, a Kelkar version, a Pranab Mukherjee version, and in 2025, we still don't have a direct tax code. The labor laws were reformed many times, but let's restrict it to this government. In 2015, the first draft of the labor code came. In 2019, it got revised. In 2025, you still don't have the states adopting all the labor codes. Now, if you go back to what is the big regulation issue, I mean, yeah, so SEBI, RBI, all these are issues. But what about the state governments? If you want to construct a power project, it takes about 3 years to get the clearances, roughly 90 clearances. You want to build a hostel or a hospital or a hotel, it takes about 110 clearances. Between 2015 or 2014 and now, or whatever time period you take, has the number of clearances come down? No. Why? Because this power is vested in the state governments. Labor laws are with the state governments, land acquisition.
Many of the state governments are now run by the BJP. At least there they should.
15 states. Okay, so this is the dilemma that the economy faces, that you have all the sermons from the center and you have complete atheism in the states.
Rajiv Mantri, the government says this is Amrit Kal. The Prime Minister is convinced will be Viksit Bharat by 2047. That requires 8% real GDP growth year on year. Not just for this year, but for the next year as well, the government is projecting just 6.3 to 6.8%. If there is so much of a gap, almost 150 basis points between where we should be and where we are, how are we in Amrit Kal and how do we become Viksit Bharat by 2047?
No, there's no question that obviously we have to be on a higher sustained growth rate, and that will require many of the reforms that Shankar is pointing to. But I would also read the economic survey as expectation setting because of the external factors which are at play, because of the unintended or rather unknown geopolitical factors which can disrupt our progress. Many things are not in India's control, that is also a fact. But we should keep doing what is in our control. And that means pushing the reforms at the central level and also at the state level, as Shankar has very rightly pointed out, adopting labor codes, implementing many of the reforms. In fact, I remember a very good op-ed that Shankar had written called The State of State PSUs. We all talk about privatization of central PSUs. But the state of state PSUs, as Shankar had said, it is a zombie land of taxpayers' money. Many of these companies at the state level are not even filing their returns on time. These are companies which are run by the state governments which are completely in a state of defunct.
No, but that's the
those
assessment
also,
of the problem. The question is this government has now been in power for 10 years plus.
The states also have to act on that actually. They need to get rid of the state PSUs.
15 state governments are with the BJP.
They should act.
I mean, they really need to put the foot on the accelerator and get on with it.
Absolutely.
Because I think what the economic survey reflects is that there is a sense of here and now. You got Donald Trump implementing all the trade tariffs. He started out with Canada and China already. And he's coming for Indian pharma too. So there are things which are beyond our
So
control.
the speed with which the US is acting actually, certainly it brings certain comparisons in India that, oh, look at them, they are doing this, why aren't we doing similar?
Why do you think he's not doing it?
Well, because our system is different. What happens in the US is you see a complete turnover of the bureaucracy. With every president who comes in makes thousands of new appointments. In the Indian system, the bureaucracy is a permanent bureaucracy, as you know. So because of that, we have a certain continuity, and we don't have the same level of, let's say, systemic changes going on with a new administration coming in or a new president coming in.